So, Soundpeats just launched their second version of what they call the Space, and these are the Space Pro. They have a lot of things that can be pretty interesting for what they cost. So, let's get started. First of all, what's the main difference with the original Space? Well, material wise, these are a little bit better. The Space weren't bad, they were mostly made out of plastic. So are these. These are mostly made out of plastic, but the plastic feels a little bit more rugged. It doesn't crackle when you stretch them out. It doesn't cringle or anything like that. So it's pretty good quality. Obviously, I've been using these for about 2 weeks. I can't tell you if they're gonna last a year or two, but I believe they will, and they won't break that easily. I mean, look at this. These are built to last. Now, they also have memory foam cups in the interior. These feel better than the last generation, a little bit thicker, but something I don't like about Soundpeats is that a lot of times they don't think about repairability. They're too confident on their products, which is a good thing, but you cannot replace the memory foam pads. These are stuck on there. I feel if I pull them too hard, they're gonna actually rip. So in case you want to modify these, take them out, or even repair them, you're not gonna be able to do that, which is something they should be thinking about, especially for headphones. They're meant to last. I mean, what good is it that the whole headphone lasts maybe 2 years, but if the cups are completely gone or maybe completely ripped, right? So repairability is something that Soundpeats still needs to improve. Now, spec-wise, these are also a little bit better. The original Space, I think, had about 120 hours of continuous playing. Soundpeats claims you can get about 151 hours on these. So I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing, but if you need 151 hours of continuous playing, these will get you there, apparently. Obviously, it's going to depend on what volume you're using, what type of music you're listening to, but I'm sure you're going to get more than 100 hours total. So, crazy killer battery life. These, as well as their last generation, also have ANC. And I'm going to talk about how good or bad the ANC is in a couple of moments, but it's included. Another thing that's still there is the LDAC codec, which is always a good thing to have in case you want to listen to lossless audio. So you want to do that, you can use LDAC, but you have to use it on an Android phone. But if you want completely lossless audio, you can listen to music through a 3.5 jack here. Although in my experience, most Bluetooth headphones which have a 3.5 jack don't give you that much of a good experience compared to when you use them through Bluetooth. I've explained this quite a few times, and it has to do because most of the time the drivers do need that battery inside the headphones. On the exterior, you can still find physical buttons, which I actually prefer. I know there are people which prefer tactile buttons, but no, I prefer physical buttons. You have the on and off button, up and down volume, as well as ANC on or off. So pretty simple and easy to use. Now, taking all that into account, what do these fit like? Are they comfortable? Are they light? Well, I can tell you these are pretty comfortable and still pretty light. Even if you want to use a pair of glasses, you can. These generate absolutely no pressure. The pads are very comfortable, and I have found that you can use these for long sessions without any issues. So comfort-wise, I would say definitely a 10 out of 10. Yeah, to that extent, these are very, very comfortable. Now, what's the ANC on these like? Well, I can tell you the ANC on them is pretty good, but the last version also had very good ANC. The difference is that these maybe give you a 1 to 2% little bit more cancellation, but they still can cancellate voices that well compared to other premium headphones. They do a very good job with continuous noise, like maybe air conditioning, playing turbines, engines, anything like that. But if you want them to isolate voices, they still lack a little bit, but they do a decent job for what you're gonna pay for them. These are also compatible with the Peats Audio app. What does that mean? Well, it means you can update the firmware, you can customize your EQ, you can use adaptive EQ, and that's about it. It's a pretty simple app, but it's a nice thing to have. The pass-through on these is also pretty good. It's not that robotic, but it does amplify the sound in the exterior. You can actually hear noises louder than you would hear them without the headphones on. So it's not like it's gonna hurt your audition, but it does give you a little bit more volume in case you want that. So depending on who you are and what you want to do with pass-through, this might be a good option for you. Now, the most important part, what is the audio sound on these like? Well, I tested them without the app, without updating the firmware, without using a preset EQ, and these surprisingly were a little bit flat. Yeah, you had very good highs, pretty clean. They wouldn't hurt your audition, even with female voices. Pretty clean mids, and not that much of bass. So obviously, a lot of people prefer bass. They want a little bit richer sound, a little bit more dynamic. So I decided to test them out with the app and use the preset EQs, and the experience changes completely. You get very punchy bass if that's what you want, but still clean mids and clean highs. That means the frequencies don't mix between them, so that's a very good experience. I think the reason you get a flat audio without using the preset EQs, it's because Soundpeats wanted that. These have a different kind of driver. They have a 40mm coaxial dual driver. I had never heard in a pair of headphones of coaxial driver. I mean, there might be out there, but I've never tested any of them like that. And normally, coaxial drivers are used in car audio, which is rare to me and pretty weird to find in a pair of headphones. But coaxial audio only means that you can have 3 drivers in the same enclosure. Normally, you would have maybe a sub or a woofer, and in front of that, you would have the mids and the tweeter. So that's practically what it means. I really don't know what these are arranged like. I can't open them. But I think the reason you get that flat audio is so you can actually equalize it and get a better experience. And in my opinion, it works very good. You can get almost any type of audio. You want more highs, you can do it straight from the app. You want more mids, same thing. You want more bass, also. And the experience gets even better. So that means the frequencies, again, don't mix between each other, and these do not give you a muddy audio. In my experience, the audio is pretty clean and pretty good. Now, considering everything I just told you, what will these set you back for? Well, depending where you live, you can find them for $80 to $90, which is a killer value. Taking into account the Bose, Sony's, the high premium ones like the M5s, like the Quiet Comfort, Ultras, or all those type of headphones, will set you back from maybe $200 to $300. Less than $100 for these is a crazy value. You get 150 hours of continuous playing. You get an LDAC codec, a pretty decent microphone, good ANC, not the most premium, but it's pretty good, and a decent app. So I think these are a very good product for the price. The only thing I don't like about them is the non-repairability they have. So for that reason, we're actually going to give these a 9.5 out of 10. They are a very good product for what you're paying, but still, if the pads die on you, you most likely will end up buying another pair, which is not ideal and pretty much a waste. But what do you guys think? Would you buy them? If you're interested, check out my affiliate links down below in the description. Also, if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, because it always helps us out quite a bit. And maybe check out this video over here, which I think you might like.